Hey guys, you remember in 1998 when someone decided, hey, you know what would be a good idea? Let's remake Psycho, one of the most infamous horror movies of all time, and a movie that drew up the blueprint for the slasher genre as we know it. Well, they decided that what they wanted to do was to make it a shot for shot remake. And yeah, they were going to modernize it and have it have color and new actors, of course. But the goal of it, and they said that it was more of an experiment than anything, which of course prevents them from being criticized. But the goal of the experiment was to see if the story could still be as resounding and if the style of the movie could still ring just as true, even if it was modernized. Well, needless to say, it was a fucking disaster. And on a completely unrelated note, Cryptopsy recently decided to make a recorded medley of the material from Blasphemy Made Flesh. And I know they've been playing this material live. I know that they cut up the songs and they presented it so that people that are old heads like me could hear that material live. I know that. But still, there is absolutely no reason to do something like this. There was no reason to make a Psycho remake. Of course, they added something. They added one thing. They decided to film a scene where Vince Vaughn is beating off. And, you know, if you were watching the old Psycho movie, you were probably thinking at the time, you know what could have made this a lot better is if Anthony Perkins was beating off right into the camera. Well, you know how I feel listening to this new recorded medley. I feel like I'm sitting on a couch and all the members of Cryptopsy are behind me and they're beating off right onto my head and there's nothing I could do about it. It's a horrific thing. But let's discuss the motive. Let's discuss the motive behind it. Now, I don't get it. The band has just put out a brand new record. You can coast off whatever that's doing in the deathcore scene. Why would you do something like this? You know, all they had to do. So they have this 30 plus year old record. 1994 comes out. All they had to do was just go ahead and not speak this record's name. And then they go ahead and they decide out of the fucking blue to re-record the material. And for what? What is the rationale? What did they do here? I'd like to know what really happened in their heads. I'd like to know what pressured them to do this. You've already lost the old people that like your shit with the most recent 9 records you made, and you're going to decide to do this. And I challenge you to make it through it. It has a whole bunch of guest artists, of course, that bring nothing to the table. It's just a kitschy thing that they have fucking Billy Strings on it. Great. What does that have to do with material from 1994 that all but the drummer were present for? And if you try to listen to it, it's of course modern and toothless and glossy and none of the shit that makes that material resonant. It's just a nightmare. It's a fucking oral nightmare to behold in your goddamn ears. And you gotta do it. You gotta listen to it. It's 8 fucking minutes long. And it's just a fucking travesty. And there's no sense to be made from trying to dissect it, trying to understand it. It's the nail. It's the last nail in the coffin. And you know, I don't want to say that a majority of the success of that record is rooted in the production, but it went hand in hand with the material being so savage as it was. And now you hear every aspect of the recording naked. And not only is it naked, but it is just so overproduced and there is no menace to the material anymore. It's completely defanged, completely fucking just sterile nonsense. The band's got to be stopped. Just fucking stop.